I'm ready.
You want to do the clap?
Wait, we don't have to do the clap because there's no.
You're just gonna start it off whenever I go.
Yeah.
What are we, savages?
I'm just kidding. I sling my dick around once a day.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Get serious.
I got it by the mast.
What?
It's in
By the mast?
By the mast.
Oh, the mast.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right next to the sail.
Alrighty then.
You know. Flaps in the wind.
Are you talking about your penis and balls?
Yes.
Alright then.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm just
listening to you. Alrighty then, gamer girls but boys, we're back with another episode of, I don't know what this one's going to be called. For 2 years, we have been doing entertaining things where, you know, we've just been recording videos, to be honest with you. But today, for the first time in history, for one night only, at the Pepsi Center, we have actually made your face, your hand, my face. It was just, yeah. We have a guest! Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Destiny.
That's great.
That's great.
Alright, we're going to move on now. So Destiny, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to be at the table?
You asked.
You're right, we asked. Not me, but you. So Corey, what made you ask?
Well, I didn't say you asked.
I did?
I didn't ask. I had the thought in my brain, and before I could bring it up, you were like, what if we brought Destiny
Oh, so he
in?
asked you like Josh
You
asked.
Bruce Green me.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like content would become way better if we actually have a gamer girl.
That's true. Oh, God. Does that... No, that still tracks. Gamer girl but boy.
It still tracks.
Still tracks.
But, alright, so let's get you a little backstory on you, Destiny. I'm sorry to put you on the spot for the first bit of this video. But I'm going to. What's your favorite video game?
Oh God, Doom.
That's a good answer. Why are you shaking your head like that?
No, because... Alright, so we didn't... I don't think we watched E3,
Let's
did we?
clarify.
Yes, we did.
Let's clarify
Just
real
Bethesda,
quick.
though.
Yeah.
Let's clarify real quick.
Yeah.
How do you two know each other?
We're dating.
They're dating.
We live together.
They live together. So it was an easy choice for me to go, I think we should bring her in,
We all got drunk together.
because
That's what
it's
happened.
my evil scheme to like, so now that the video will be out, you can't really go anywhere. Because if you go somewhere,
He's been my partner in crime.
like
since,
you can totally sue us at that point because we were like,
Oh,
have videos of
-1.
you. Yeah.
I'll keep
So,
that in
like-
mind.
So like, you guys are dating.
Mhm.
How long have you been dating?
That's a question for her, not for me.
Shit, how does he not know this? How do you not know this, it sounds like? So they've just
It's
been
like
dating.
5 or 6 months.
It was February.
Yeah,
right?
so it's like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys use the L word
Yes.
Yeah.
every day?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we live together. So we do. Yeah.
Luis is gonna jump.
Oh, please
This
don't.
is Weiss, also a special guest.
So your favorite game is Doom. What were you guys gonna say? You guys watched Bethesda's E3, you saw Doom Eternal, and you lost your mind?
But they
I did, yes.
dangled the carrot. They dangled the carrot. They made us wait till literally in
Yeah,
the
it was
end
literally
of
the very last thing that they showed. They kept showing like
Yeah.
little teaser things talking about it, and then finally showed it at the very end. And I was like,
Yeah.
you bitches.
Yeah, definitely. That was the thing I was excited for most of all. In Bethesda's conference was Doom Eternal as well. So yeah, your favorite game is Doom. So I would say that you like FPSs a lot, or is it just strictly Doom?
FPSs.
FPSs in general. That's cool. What's your favorite movies? You can have more than one. I'm a man who doesn't have more than who cannot be like
Tamed.
cannot be contained to one, right?
The
Except for
Crow, the first one. All
Okay.
the other ones I don't really
Garbage.
care about.
I agree.
Yeah, no, fuck them. Batman.
She's just covering Josh. Sorry.
Batman, the ones with Christian Bale.
Okay.
I like those sets of ones.
Are you aware we made jokes about those films?
He
in the
told
last
me.
video?
He told me, but I didn't watch it because I didn't know if I need to fight him or not. I didn't know if I
It's
need
not
to fight
long
him,
either. We can watch it later.
or
It's
if
like,
it would be forced to him sleep on the futon. So I was like, nah, we're not gonna
It's
do
mostly me. I'm doing a Batman voice. That's it. So okay.
But I switch it
Crow,
up. Christian Bale mask and
Yeah. Crow.
Ben Affleck.
The Dark Knight and like the whole Batman Begins trilogy. What else?
it. Yeah. I don't even know what else. Nightmare Before Christmas is another big one.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, those are probably like my top 3 that I've watched.
Any
obscene
particular
amount of
reason
times.
why?
I liked The Crow just because of like what the movie stood for, and I actually have a crow tattoo.
You talking an actual bird tattoo of the crow, or are you like, okay, cool.
You gotta show
Yeah.
the camera.
She has a crow.
It says it can't rain all the time
Candy
and has
camera.
crows. Oh lord. So I liked that one just because of the message behind it.
Mhm.
And then I've just always been infatuated with Batman ever since I was a kid. My dad got me into it. And then The Nightmare Before Christmas was just one of those movies. I loved stop animation. I loved watching like the behind the scenes of like the stuff that went into it. And I've always liked Tim Burton stuff.
Okay. You like Tim Burton stuff now?
Some of it.
Yeah.
Some of it's kind of like
You think
that.
Johnny Depp is his wife?
Actually, fun fact, apparently Tim Burton and Helena Carter, his like ex-wife,
Uh-huh.
apparently took Johnny into their home because apparently Johnny's been like going in a downward spiral.
He looks like a homeless man.
Oh, God.
You think
Yeah.
He is a
We-
homeless man?
Well, he's not homeless, but apparently the article was saying that like he's getting like drunk a lot and stuff like that because
He's downward
of like
spiraling.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they actually like took him into his home, to their home in England, and are like basically letting him like live with them and stuff.
He's like a 45-year-old teen.
Pretty much.
He plays rock and roll all the day.
I know, and smokes weed with
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson.
Exactly.
With his assless chaps.
Yeah. Cool. So we got your movies, we got your video games. What else do you want everybody to know about you?
What's your favorite period joke?
He means like 18th century, 19th century,
Sure.
2000th century.
I feel like that's not what you meant, knowing you, because I feel like it's the joke that I say all the
You
time.
talk about menstruation, you sick bastard.
Yeah.
So you guys clearly, like, how did you... We can't really say how you guys met just because we don't want this company to go after us. But you guys met working
What?
together.
That company's...
Well-
Shitter.
Well, we met working together, but you weren't there very long when I started.
You bounced pretty quick.
Yeah.
She was with another man.
And you
at
were
the
like...
time. And
you were like, I'm not going to waste my time on this girl.
No, I was desperate and frothing at the mouth, but I had to hide it. So, Brian didn't help. Brian is the worst. Brian actually keeps people's secrets. What a fuckhead.
Brian, we want you on the
Brian, we
show.
really want you on the show.
You
Big
fuckhead.
fan, you fuckhead.
So, you guys worked together. He was frothing at the mouth. What'd you think of him? I really want to know this part.
I thought he was cute,
She
but I
won't
just
tell me details.
I didn't
I asked
say
about
anything.
Today it comes out.
I talked to Kaylee about this earlier too. It's actually really funny.
Did you really?
Yeah.
She's like, she thought you were a douchebag.
No.
You want to tell him about that? You want to tell him about the arrogance?
Okay, so I thought he
Oh,
was cute.
absolutely.
I
Like,
thought
that's like one of his best traits, though.
Like, I thought he was cute, but he looked like an arrogant fucker, and I was like, oh no.
if
can't
it
do
walks,
it.
if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's a duck.
In my defense, I was hanging out with Daniel a lot at the time. So it rubbed off the
Classic arrogant
Yeah.
douchebag move.
Yeah. So,
But no, I thought he was cute, and I thought he was funny, but we never really, like, worked together. Because everybody sabotaged your
yeah, I was about to
plans
say,
of
because
trying
I
to work
told
together.
our working manager that I liked her, and then so I wasn't put on any shifts.
How
But I got
was
Josh
this?
at least. I got Josh for every shift, so we were married at the time.
Yeah, we were. What do you
Yeah.
mean at the time?
Should've
I've
got a
taken
letter in
over
the mail.
now.
Oh, shit. Oh, God. All right, so y'all
My
work
lawyer will
together.
call your lawyer.
So you guys work together, and full disclosure, he did talk about you with me at the time.
No, I'm intrigued.
What is happening?
So-
collusion,
So
deceit.
I don't really. He was at a time in his life where he had no direction when it came to women, right? So he was like, yeah, maybe somebody will show up, maybe they won't. But you particularly would come up in conversations, and at the time I had never met you. We had never met until you guys actually started dating. But he always, like, he would bring you up occasionally, right? And I'd be like, oh, well, why don't you go pursue her? And he'd always have, like, some excuse. I don't know if they were real, I don't know if they were not, but it was probably because you were dating somebody.
Well, Brian was like, because Brian kept saying like, well, you need to go swoop in, and then the opportunity never presented itself. I mean, she wasn't there, and then I'd bitch at her if she did try to ignore me, because she did try to do that a couple times.
I only did it once.
And I was like, what the
I walked out.
fuck?
I got off my shift and I didn't get a break, so I was like,
Excuse
I'm
me.
going home. And like I walked past him and he was like, excuse me, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, hi.
Because I literally went into the store I was with Brisbane and Daniel, name dropping like shit. I was like, I'm going in here and I think Destiny's working, so I hope she's working. And then we went in there and you went right past me and I was like, hello!
And then Brisbane and Daniel were both like,
They're just, I don't know, doing their thing. I couldn't figure out a good roast for them just now. It's depressing. Something about vaginas. Alright.
I
about?
remember one time in particular we went out to Wendy's because I'm a fat ass, and like, you were talking about her in particular. And another
know
person.
better than me.
And another person, but that person is like I said, he was lost and he had no direction.
Who was
when it came
it?
to women.
She knows about my exes.
I don't know who it was.
We've talked about most of my exes on the podcast.
I don't know who it was.
I like to roast him from time to time, but like
Was
then
this
he gets
the one
permission to roast me. So like it's fine. We roast each other's exes.
What was it? Okay, I think I know who it was.
I don't know.
Anyways.
So no, I knew
what it is.
about you before I'd actually met you, and then like you just were not a topic of conversation for a period of time because he, like I said again for the third time, he was lost, directionless.
Well, plus,
with
like,
women.
We didn't really have any other way of talking to each other.
Yeah,
once he like
left the company that you guys both worked
then
for.
like we didn't really, because I didn't have him on Facebook. His dad did come in one time though and got something, and I asked about him. I remember that.
Because he showed up. He was like, hey. I was like, what? He was like, some girl, she looked like your type, was talking to me. And I was like, was it Destiny? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, God, what'd you say?
What did you say?
I don't even remember. I think he was getting... What was it? I think he was getting a Tom Clancy's game.
Yeah, I was going to say,
think.
knowing your
He was
dad,
getting
it was
a
probably
Tom
like
Clancy.
Wildlands
Yeah.
or
Some
something.
sort of military
Yeah, I
game
think it
or
was
something.
a Tom Clancy's game, and so I asked how you were doing and how you liked your new job and stuff.
You asked about me?
Yeah.
Did you and I ever run into each other when I would come in to see
Yes.
Brian? I think it was one time,
yes,
right?
Yes, because I remember your small baby child kept pressing buttons.
Absolutely.
Kept pressing buttons.
I remember that, too, when he hit you in the head with
the scanner gun.
With the scanner gun. That was great. I love that.
Yeah.
Wish I had that on
But we didn't really
record.
talk, though. And I think there was a second time, because that was when you came in for our manager at that time. And then you came in another time to talk to Brian, because he was trying to coerce you to take him to his store, and I tried to coerce you to take me to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody was
I was like,
poach
Everybody
me.
wants to work for me.
I was like,
Immediately.
please.
Everybody wants to work for me.
They know where we work. Well, that depends. Go back and watch our podcast to find out where me and Josh work, because it's in one of them. We just
Exactly. So, yeah, no, I have known of you for quite a while. I guess you're right. We have met on a brief occasion.
Yeah.
We didn't really get any kind of interaction up until recently. So yeah, I really wanted you to, and it's not like Corey's girlfriend is now joining it because you're with him. I definitely feel like as a channel, we needed more insight into different things, and I think more voices. I have always thought more voices into specific subjects will help us in the long run. Because Corey and I are kind of on the same page usually.
Yeah.
Somebody who can buck tradition, being him and my and his own like dialogue exchange would be good for us.
Because we have argued when we played one game with my aunt and uncle. We had to create superheroes.
Yeah.
And you tried to make them have the head of Robin Hood and the lower half of Daenerys Targaryen and use dragons. And I said, that's false. I said, that doesn't work. And he's like, how does it not work? And I was like, because they're going to know it's not Daenerys. And so the dragons aren't going to come to him. And he was like, how do you know that? And I was like, it literally says that she's the chosen one. They go to her. I was like, it's not Daenerys then. And he was like, I guess you're right. And I was like, yeah, just blew your whole method.
Dragons, aren't you?
He tries to
cheat. Robin Hood on the back of the dragon. How you stop that? She had like 50 fat
I steal from the rich and burn down.
I had 50 fat sumo wrestlers.
So like I was just like dragging with Robin Hood.
My entire my entire argument was that game was, but there's 50 of them.
She was like, it could just bend steel.
I'm cool with looking like a tiny midget. You guys were right at the beginning of this.
Our podcasts are always awesome and professional. What do you mean?
Sitting in a tiny, teeny chair.
They're not. I wouldn't call.
All right, so
abstract.
So,
Yeah.
let's get down to the meat and potatoes of this. I want to talk about CyberPunk. I've been thinking about,
Who brought potatoes?
guys, the two of you who are watching that I
Wow, we
know
both-
would have heard potatoes and are like laughing to themselves. Don't even do it anymore. Don't do it. Getting down to what I
Inside joke
want to talk about.
Wasn't there for that.
What I want to talk about is CyberPunk, and I want to I want to create a dialogue for this, right? I want both of your input. Everybody is super hype about CyberPunk, right?
Super hype.
You super hype about it?
I'm on the hype
You
train.
super hype about it?
I mean, it looks cool, but like, I don't know if it's something I'd play.
Okay, cool. I like this difference, right? I want to talk about CyberPunk in the aspect of the development team, the developers themselves, CD Projekt Red.
Mhm.
What do we know about CD Projekt Red?
They're pretty humble.
Okay. What do
And
they make?
The guy that Witcher.
The Witcher. They've made the Witcher series.
Yeah.
What else have they made?
Don't look at me.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Don't look at
The
me.
Witcher series.
That's pretty much it,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people like The Witcher, but they
Mhm.
like specifically The Witcher 3
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's the only thing they've ever played by CD. And I should say not because, but that's the only thing they've ever played by CD Projekt Red. So a lot of people who have only played The Witcher 3, who are super crazy about CD Projekt Red, are going into Cyberpunk super crazy. Like, CD Projekt Red can do no harm. And not to say that they're an untested company because they've created masterworks,
Mm-hmm.
but I think people should realize that this is a new venture for them. This isn't going to be some kind of grand, expansive, like super crazy thing like The Witcher, right? This is a first-person shooter set in a Mad Max dystopian-esque world with neon lights looking like
Had-
it's...
And Keanu
Wait.
Reeves.
Keanu
Have you
Reeves.
played it?
No.
Dude, every single AI in the game has a path, a
So
life
let me-
that it lives
Let
while
me
you play the game.
let me talk more because you're
About
bringing up
that?
something that I
Okay.
want to touch on. What they're talking about is never before done.
Yeah, that's
Video
what. Yeah.
games. So it's a tall order already.
Yeah.
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 I have concerns because we see this kind of thing in video games nowadays.
Talking
where
about when people jump the gun.
tall orders, right?
build something that doesn't exist.
And nothing happens with it.
Yeah.
So I want to know what everybody feels like. You know, I want to see what arguments you can bring to the table to kind of contradict this. The fact that they bring Keanu Reeves out on stage
Mhm.
and E3, if your product is solid enough, do you really need a celebrity backer?
That's true.
I don't know how they got him.
Why did they get him? It's not about the how, it's about the why for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because it could have been he could have just ran into them.
Because
He goes
what-
to cons.
What was the biggest thing that people talk about with Cyberpunk after E3?
Keanu Reeves.
It definitely
Literally
got
that
the
scene.
word out. But you got to look at it from both angles. You got to look at it as that could just be they're smart enough to know that bringing Keanu brings Cyberpunk to more people because it could be a very
Why would they
expensive
bring
project. Because it could be they could have done what they said, but can you imagine how much money it must cost to make such a big project? They've
Absolutely.
been working on it for years. If you read all the Reddit posts of like the amount of thought that's gone into even just like the posters on a random street, it's pretty ridiculous. And they have the guy that wrote the books working with them. So it's like, yeah, it'll probably have some crazy ass bugs people are going to find out because it's something that's never been. I mean, some of the abilities in the game are just fucking crazy. The entire thing is supposed to be destructible, kind of, to a certain degree.
Keanu's lines and the whole thing. We
But
gotta see the
Keanu's a-
burn, you know?
Yeah, but he's a really, really important character.
So that's the thing that to kind
So
of
it could have also been
to
like,
echo my statement,
you know.
right? Keanu Reeves, big time, big celebrity right now with his films, John Wick,
mhm.
and a lot of his other, Toy Story 4. He's a voice actor in that. He is what's hot right now in
Yeah.
Hollywood. Keanu Reeves is hot property. We have companies who use Ruben Langdon, voice actor and stunt, actor to the stars, with the company online, created a video of Keanu Reeves stopping a robbery, and it wasn't even Keanu Reeves doing it. They masked Ruben Langdon's face with Keanu Reeves, and the video skyrocketed because of Keanu. Because he's hot. He's what's popular right now.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the big thing that everybody was talking about after Microsoft's announcement was Keanu Reeves in CyberPunk. It wasn't CyberPunk.
But wasn't it that
with
event
Keanu
is
Reeves.
what made him blow up? I mean, John Wick, the entire premise of the first film, all the trailers were like, John is back, which was like, or didn't they say Keanu is back or something? I remember the trailer specifically targeting the fact that Keanu Reeves was back into acting because he was fat for a little bit right before John Wick, because that was when his wife died. His wife was killed in a car accident with his baby. So he got depressed and ate a lot of food and stuff like that and stopped acting. So when John Wick came out, all the trailers were tail riding on the fact that Keanu was returning. And then it just happened that John Wick was a good movie. And then, I mean, there was popularity because he was in like Fortnite, which got him more. But then this event is what just sent him into the stratosphere.
Why would a company go for Keanu Reeves?
I'm having a hard time, unless it was their business side that decided this, because they made Witcher 3 free on the PC when it first came out for people that couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. They just don't seem like the people that are going to bullshit us.
I'm not arguing with the fact that CD Projekt Red knows what they're doing, right? But I just want to create this dialogue of doubt, because nobody is questioning this.
No.
I am excited about this game. But
I see what you're saying.
I want to discuss it. I want to analyze the pieces. I want to break it down.
I question every game before it comes out. Because, I mean, when they show the trailers, of course the trailers are going to look perfect. Of course the gameplay at cons are going to look perfect.
Have we seen gameplay for this game?
I don't think they've released any gameplay yet.
Do you know? Have you seen any
They
gameplay?
released 45 minutes, and then I'm pretty sure they released there was like an hour and something that was played at E3 that they released. If you watch the 45-minute one, the game is worth $60. I'll just put that down. But you figure,
though...
Now, whether it's not... Oh, sorry. What?
What if they just critiqued it for E3?
What if it's scripted, you mean?
Yeah. So, like, what if, that section that they put out there for people to play and see, they made it perfect, but there's a lot of other stuff that's, like, not what they promised or not, like, perfect. It's got glitches. It's got faults in it.
Could be.
I guess what I should ask you guys is, what do you want out of Cyberpunk?
I don't know. I don't even know what...
I don't know, I just think if they're going to promise, like, how you were saying, like, the AIs live their own life and everything like that, like, that's a big thing to do. Like, to make those characters continue on their life, because if there's going to be multiple AIs in the game, then, like, you have to code each and every one of them.
Yeah.
You can't just do a couple of them, and then the rest of them, you're like, screw it, we're just not going to do all of them.
So what is Cyberpunk? Is it a story of revenge? Is it a story of taking down...
It's open world.
But what is it? Because this can be I can say it's an open world
I'm
FPS.
pretty sure it follows the books, but you can make decisions that change environments, kind of like
But what is your goal? I should say.
I'm not 100% sure.
Isn't that weird though for a game that comes out in 8 months?
You're trying to take down the companies.
Okay. There.
I'm pretty sure that's the main goal, because that's what Cyberpunk was all about, is that, like, the corporations are, like... Because people immediately, when screenshots at E3 were released, people were going after them about trans people being displayed on photos as pieces of meat, kind of. And they were like, that's the point. We're trying to show that the corporations are using people for, like...
They're trying to create a connection between real life and this video game. Which is the thing that film has done for years, and I don't think video games do quite as well.
Yeah.
When you have stories like Far Cry 3 being criticized for the white savior mechanic that they put in.
But it's like, that's a classic. You ask most people...
But is it something that is appropriate for this time?
What, Far Cry 3?
No, like the white savior.
Well, probably not. I don't know.
It's a story mechanic, right?
I've talked about this on other podcasts, that I am a strong believer that people should not have a saying. Like, I think that there should be no form of media where every single character in it is the same race.
Perfect.
I think that it should be diverse, unless it's part of the story. I feel like if you tell a story and there is a reason for why you do something, they should have no say in it. There should be no say. Like, when I did watch a video about a guy that was breaking down things, like, people were mad that the Haitians were a specific gang in Cyberpunk called the Animals. And they were like, you're trying to say it's because, like, they're Haitian. And the leader of the Animals is a white girl that is
So you're
like
like,
Zarya.
what is the point? Yeah.
So what is the point? And like people were talking about how like they can't do this and like they haven't been working with the guy that wrote the book. And then the guy that wrote the book got on Reddit and was like, I definitely had a say in everything. I love what they did because originally the animals were a bunch of white people that culturally appropriated.
I didn't know CyberPunk was based off of a novel.
Yeah, all their stuff. Like Witcher is novels, if you didn't know.
Yeah, but the guy
last
is
book
not
came
very
out.
like super crazed about the video games because which is weird because the guy would look at the sales for the books after the video game releases, and I'm sure you'll see.
Plus,
that
they
it goes
tried to
crazy.
follow the books. He doesn't have two swords until the third, or until the point where they got in the video game where the books are.
You know what? You know why he's really mad is because CD Projekt Red came to him and they're like, "We'll pay you we'll pay you X amount of money up front if you want, or we can pay you in royalties. We're leaving the choice up to you."
Oh, and he took it all up front.
But whatever you decide is
That's
what
fine.
that it is. And he said, "I want my money up front." And then Witcher went,
Because he's an idiot. It's the same thing that happened with Rambo. The original writer for the Rambo book killed himself because he got money for the first one, and then at the end of the Rambo book, Rambo kills himself. But instead, they made more movies, and he turned it down because he said he didn't want to be a part of it, and they made money, so then he killed himself because he didn't get that money. So this is not like a thing that's just all of a sudden happening. That's definitely like a novel thing. Lack of information, that knowing what royalties and stuff,
'Cause I
which
think
is weird because you would think books have royalties too.
they do.
Yeah.
So
But I think it has a lot to do with greed.
yeah,
Because people want the money up front. They don't want to, like, wait
They
for
want
it.
it
And
right
plus,
now.
you have the fear of, like, is
What
it
if
going to
it
actually
fails?
do
Yeah.
good? Is it going to fail? So,
If-
like, they're
if
kind
any
of
of
walking on eggshells.
Yeah, I would say that if any of us were given the opportunity to go, hey, we'll give you X amount of money up front, or you can bank on royalties. Royalties are a significantly smaller amount of money right away
Yeah.
than what they were willing to pay him for the property. And I think if it would be a hard decision for anybody.
Yeah.
How he handles himself afterwards is different. He's done
Yeah.
nothing but try to lambast the video games. But to be honest with you, the books are weird in a way that he likes to project himself as Geralt, and in the books there's way more sex than in
well,
the
I
video
like
games.
the first couple where they're short stories.
Mhm.
I appreciate those. I thought those were good, but you can tell they're from when he was younger.
Yeah.
They're not from when.
Well, with that, what do you guys think of the show that's coming out on Netflix?
I'm
He has
excited
no
to
scars.
see. Excited.
Why does he have no scars?
I mean,
It's
you
a
gotta
weird thing
you gotta
that he
start
has no
out somewhere,
scars.
right?
That's true.
It's a weird balance because people are going to expect the video game, not the book.
And they're gonna expect Witcher 3. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Again, I come
But
in full
I would
circle
rather
to-
have an anthology where each episode he hunts a different monster, and it's like a different story.
following suit with what I said before. A lot of the fans of the series made by CD Projekt Red only know one entity that they've done.
Mhm.
Like CD Projekt Red has built Gwent, and
Mhm.
they created a game off of that,
Love
and
Gwent.
Thronebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
But what else have they done really other than create?
But all that
This.
wouldn't have been popular if 3 hadn't made them on the map. Because 2 I knew of, and a lot of people like 2, but those
How
were
many-
the more diehard
I want to
fans.
know how many people have played the first Witcher game.
I don't know which system is
PC?
it on. Yeah, I've never played the first one. And if you go back and try to play 2, it's a little rough. Two's not the same. It's
So-
also... Yeah.
So we have a lot of, and I hate to use this term, but it fits better than others. But bandwagon fans who have jumped onto the dick of CD Projekt Red and
Yeah.
like ridden it for all it's worth, and they're like, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be crazy, going to be a crazy like experience. It's going to be amazing.
I agree that it'll be a crazy experience.
I think it's gonna
no
be-
matter what.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be a good game. I think
But
it's
I
going to
see-
be a revolutionary pivoting.
But I think
point.
there's things that people have come up with in their head. It's kind of like No Man's Sky, but not to that degree.
You know
because
what?
this team
you
can
bring
back
up a
it
funny point. I had this conversation. I brought this conversation up to
Why
another
would the
person.
point ever be fun? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no. I brought this up to
burp.
somebody else, and they use that analogy. No Man's Sky, right? No Man's Sky was a game that released in 2015,
Because it's the best
2016,
example
I think
of
it was
that
2016.
situation.
2016. And the problem with No Man's Sky is the developers came out and said that they're going to do all these things that they never paid off with.
If you go back and watch it, they didn't say that stuff till after. They showed one video and people built this entire thing
So-
around it. And then they felt like they had to like.
I would agree with you, but they went on Jimmy Kimmel like 3 days before the game release, and the guy's like, "We're talking about multiplayer. We're talking about this. We're talking about that." So he went out and he made bold claims about the game, making it believe that it was going to be right away, when in reality, it was something years ahead. It's only until just recently.
Yeah, didn't they just add all the stuff that they were like promising about?
It's super good.
The plan of what we were supposed to get.
We got a large chunk. We didn't get the whole thing.
And I'm not saying that CD Projekt Red is going to do that, because CD Projekt Red, like we've discussed, is a company that is built by people who are passionate. It's a small group. They don't have any kind of company ties.
Also, they've had experience. The people that made No Man's Sky just made No Man's Sky. They hadn't made anything before that, unless they were like a smaller team that made like tiny indie games or something like that.
Yeah.
But CD Projekt Red,
they have experience creating an open world third-person action adventure game.
But you got to remember that when Witcher 3 came out, I remember when I got my Game Informer, the biggest thing that people were excited about was that they said the map was going to be bigger than GTA 5. That was the biggest pull.
Yeah, that's what
and then they showed descriptions of the creatures, how like some will attack you and make you blind, which was implemented a lot in God of War.
So you're saying where more they have shown the ability in previous entries to create a landscape that they are promising with CyberPunk.
They've now become a company that can prove that they're the trend starters.
So you think
kind of like how when The Last of Us came out, everybody took that little radar thing that Joel can use. The survival thing. Yeah, a bunch of games use that. So I feel like when a company starts, and it's not the first time CD Projekt Red has started like a trend thing.
Do you think what he's saying is true? I mean, he's saying that they had interesting AI with the monsters that they would think and react accordingly to however the person was playing. Do you think that they can take something small scale when it's just a couple monsters and create an environment in which almost every single person that you see has a path, has a life?
I think it's doable, but it depends on how long they've been working on the game. Because if they haven't been working on it for very long, then I don't think it's going to be achievable. There's definitely going to be bugs.
There were rumors when Witcher 3 came out. Like, right when it dropped, people were like, they're working on cyber something.
Yeah.
And they released a screenshot of something that looked... Like, there was a trailer. Mm-hmm. It was a trailer of this girl that beats up a bunch of cops. And I knew that was going to be nothing of what it looked like because they were so early on in the phase. But I guess it was just kept getting leaked, so they were like, fuck it, we'll just show them that, like, this is a thing that we're going to try to do. I think it would help if we knew who the managers... Because they could always hire people that are focused on first-person shooters.
Absolutely.
Or bring in designers that are used to it. Because...
that's something I hadn't, for some reason, thought of. You're
right. I just thought of it. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because, to be honest... Witcher 3 made so much money that there's such a big team now. I mean, Thronebreaker is a new genre of game where, like, you play with the cards and stuff like that. And a small team made that. Mm-hmm. One guy was like, I had this idea. I made Thronebreaker. And the art's amazing. And we played.
Yeah, on a channel.
Yeah, the potatoes.
I do, I'm very, like I said, I'm very interested in Cyberpunk. They've got a lot of things that they're juggling. I do think they can pull it off. I'm just wondering, what's going to happen at that point.
Well, I can't think of the problem is they've kind of tried to at least cover all their bases. So it's like hard to think of what won't be in there because I don't really know what people are talking about. I only know that there was the thing where they were trying to accuse them of racism, but they covered that up. They were like, we're not.
The crazy thing about this game is that the biggest media pour out for it is the fact that Keanu Reeves is in this game.
Yeah.
But you don't hear, like you said, they released 45 minutes, almost
no
an
one
hour,
talks about the AI thing.
Nobody talks about
if that really works, that is huge.
So they've buried some of the things. And maybe they do come out and the AI is, what they say, but I think people have a grand idea of, I mean, look at Fable. But Peter Molyneux came out and he was like, this is what Fable's going to be and we're going to see all these things. And Peter Molyneux is a...
But I found out they fucked him, though. Are you talking about Fable 3 or the one that was supposed to happen?
Fable 1.
Oh.
Peter Molyneux came out and made all these promises and he talked about all, like, the things that they're going to be able to do in this game. And sure, they were in it, but it's way watered down.
Yeah.
So, like, what is the point of selling, like, if it's my job to sell you a game, what kind of catchphrases am I going to use?
But then you got to
know,
look at the
like,
other side.
Fully integrated AI where point A to point B is planned out by an emotional entity.
Yeah.
That's a fancy way of saying my computer system goes from point A to point B.
Yeah.
I thought about that, but I think it means more of, like, the characters have routes, but, like, I think that, you know how, like, every time you restart your computer, you, like, fix it, because, like, at some point, some part of the code in the computer
It wipes out any previous kind of...
Yeah, like, fucked up or something like that. Now, if, like, they all have their path, and something you do fucks up that path, it could change, like, certain things. I mean, we don't know how many paths they have.
Talking about branching
now
stuff.
But
it is
that's
not
a good point,
unlimited...
because Mass Effect, man, what a letdown for Mass Effect 3. And they were talking that good shit for I don't know how many years.
A job of a company
and you
is
could
to
just
sell the
pick
product.
the fucking laser color. After all that shit, you could pick the laser color.
Right? So, it's not... This isn't me saying, like, oh, we should not buy CyberPunk. This is me saying
that's
I
a
fully
good point.
endorse
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But remember the what a company is supposed to do is to sell something, and how better to sell something than to give you these key phrases, these key words, especially in something that has never been done or seen before in the gaming field.
Mm.
We have a lot of stuff that people like to say that, in my opinion, isn't possible to fully realize, like branching dialogue choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
A branching dialogue choice, to me, is an infinite number of possibilities. Mm-hmm. But we do not have the power and technology to be able to automatically generate infinite number of possibilities.
Yeah.
They, for you, have, you say, Thug A goes to point B, and your character can cut him off at point B, point C, or point D along his path. And say you cut him off at point B, well, that splinters off into 5 different
That's
choices.
what I was saying. We don't know how many branches there could possibly
But
be.
there is a limited amount.
Because, I mean, look at, like, Detroit
Unless-
Become Human.
I love that game.
But
There's
that's
not many, like,
that's
options.
A great
Like, it only
choice.
shows, like,
that was
a
the
couple.
last game I beat all the way through.
Yeah, but you figure for, like, each of your choices, it shows you, like, once you've made a drastic choice, like, it'll show you, like, 4 or 5, but, like, even then, there's not infinite numbers of, like, routes you could take with each character. There's only a few.
I was prepared, though, because David Cage spews shit out his asshole on a daily basis. So whenever he types up a game, I'm like, okay, I'll be able to make decisions. And, like, Willem Dafoe might be in it, and naked Ellen
The craziest
Page.
thing that everybody likes to talk about with AI is what scares me the most about AI, is the world is going towards, like, trying to create the Terminators.
Well, that's why, wow, it's... I swear, we're, like, synced up. I was thinking about this when I was
We're on
coming
our
home.
cycle together.
That was...
That's my favorite period joke.
I was gonna say that
Mine's
when
better.
she brought up when he asked you about when you said fun fact. When you were like, fun fact, Johnny Depp's being held in their mansion.
Yeah.
I was gonna say our brain cycles are matched up because we live together now, but Josh beat me to it. Anyways,
Oh god, I hope not.
Video game.
wait, hold
video
on. What was I
games-
just saying? That was a good point.
I'll get you to it. Video games are creating
get you to
AIs to
gotcha.
have branching to make their own choices. Essentially,
Yeah.
what's to take that AI, that concept that is an entertainment-based concept, and then create an expanse where you can put it into anything, and then create something like the Terminator. Create military-grade artificial intelligence that can look and analyze not just point A to point B, but point A to a billion other points.
This is why Elon Musk has been telling people. I don't remember who it was. I don't think it was the Supreme. It was either like maybe it was the Supreme Court. He went around either last year or like maybe a few years ago and was like, we need laws now in place that make it so that you cannot create, or it has to have like rules. Like it has, robot laws have to exist, which is in like, if you read any novels that are considered classics like Blade Runner or I forget what the name of the book. There's some book that we were forced to read in college where like this guy gets plugged into the AI thing and he like, it's like hacking, but they're robbing people and stuff like that, all in this cyberspace. And there's still laws even in that, and like the Terminator rules and stuff like that, because
and how
Skynet is not something that is impossible.
How many times has science fiction become science fact in our in our
Well, because anyone, all right, let's say we get to the point where like they streamline it so that you can build one in your house, right? You can Google and look up what it looks like when someone uploads a robot with just everything on the dark web, and it is fucking.
It wants to kill itself.
Scary. It wants to like just murder everything that exists
go off
and
of
be
that,
terrible.
Right? So, let's talk. Technology has jumped so quickly and so fast. It's almost poetic. If video games are the things that create these entities that destroy humankind, because video games are just an entertainment for us. They're just our playthings, right?
Yeah.
I doubt it'll be one of those situations where someone will make a game that sophisticated, and then these people that are hacking and shredding it, and they'll create it off of that.
It still roots it from entertainment.
Yeah, which sucks because then whoever designs that is going to blame themselves, and
so
they
like,
probably won't live a great life.
So like
that is how it is.
Let's just go back in time a little bit. How long have cell phones been a thing?
Not that long. I used to play Snake on a really shitty one when I was like 14.
Our parents had rotary phones.
Yeah.
Like, we now have something that is more powerful than the very first computer in the palm of our hands.
Fucking internet. Oh my god.
In the palm of our hands. That is absolutely crazy. What are we going to do in the next 20 years? Artificial intelligence is something that people are already looking
The problem is we're not perfecting things we have. We're just like, all right, that's done. It's full of flaws and shit, and battery life is trash, but we're just going to move on.
Have you guys seen the thing where an AI robot designs faces? And, like, you can't even tell that it's not an actual person? Yeah, they're doing a thing where they're having AI robots. Like, they've seen tons and tons of pictures of people. Just thousands of pictures of people. And they print a picture of a person, and that person doesn't even exist. But, like, in your brain, you think it's a real person. They actually exist, but it's not. It's just AI is taking thousands of pictures of different people. And how they're getting these pictures, I don't know. But they're taking these pictures and creating probably
it's
all the old
so many
Google,
people.
They can create an engine that siphons off everything from a Google search for a certain name and then upload it into the robot. So they could literally just search people's faces.
You guys do that thing where you age yourself with the phone?
I did it for
about to bring this up.
but it wouldn't let me do both of us. You did look real bad.
So your photo,
to look forward to.
Your image is now in a company database that can do whatever it wants with it.
That's funny.
God.
And it's owned by a Russian company.
But that doesn't matter anymore because of the fact that technology exists.
So
I could just change my face.
Where is our line, though?
Anybody?
Where is
there
our
is
line
no
that
line.
we draw. Though?
What, against other nations?
No, between... So I'm an artist, right?
Mm.
My art has been stolen on the internet.
I do know that's a thing from college. It's a bad... That's why watermarks have become such a huge...
Where's the line, right? If somebody can steal my art, why can't somebody steal your face?
They can steal your face.
Exactly.
No.
So I don't know. Why don't we have like? Why don't people care about that? Is what I want.
There are just no. It's not stuff that there's too many people that are not educated and too stupid.
It's an
you can't find these things on TV. You have to look. It's like how what is that group that wears the mask from V from Vendetta?
Anonymous.
They took down like 5% of the dark web. Like a huge fucking chunk of it by themselves. Yeah. So there are people that are aware of this and have the technology and are continuing, but the government is like, we have to be cops, we have to be this, this, and this, but no one wants to give their technology to those people because they're uneducated. Not to say that every person that's a cop and in the government is uneducated, but most of the people in the government are uneducated.
You think?
There are men in the White House that say that vaginas can just turn off. So
I think that is due to the fact that we have people in elected offices that can just stay in positions of power for as long as they want, even though their term has ended.
But
right?
that could change with this
new thing. They can be lobbyists.
We have no idea what's going to happen with this September 20th thing. This could change the game, man. Because what do? If they shoot somebody...
You're telling him about what I talked to you about today.
If they shoot them...
If she's the one who thought of this, I want to know what she wants.
I've been talking
So I told him, I said that I honestly think it's something that should happen, even if it's just a little bit of people. Because, like, it's unfortunate to say, but if the American people see that their own government is willing to kill American people on American soil... it sends that they don't care about you. And it's in our Constitution that at any point in time, if we're unhappy with the way our government is, we can legally overthrow our government.
Which is part of the Second Amendment.
Yeah,
Right to
and
bear
everybody's
arms.
scared to because their government has put so much fear into them. But I think that might start something and start a rebellion because so many people are unhappy with the way our government is, but they don't want to do
Trump
anything.
just held a rally
In
and
which
demanded
people-
someone to go home.
Who is
which
a United States citizen who is
yeah.
a senator, if I'm correct, or
Yeah,
congresswoman.
something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
And there are people who sit by that and chant that with him.
Yeah, but again, uneducated.
So let me take that. Is it uneducation, or is it a person's nature? Like
Hold
those
on.
people
Hold on.
believe that
Because-
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I think
Somebody
those
at
people
work-
are bred with hate.
Hold on. He was explaining me at work because I kept making this reference. Okay, this is gonna be extreme, and like if you're a Trump supporter, I don't care. We're just gonna work with me here, okay? The way that Hitler got power was because he came in after World War I, where they were
And he was a war
shitted
veteran.
on. And he was a war veteran. He was acting like he had a plan and no one else did. And then he was like, okay, Jewish people had shitty lives too at that same time. So he gave them something to hate. That's what's happening right now. Because statistically, immigration is not up. It's down. We have less people immigrating over here than we did years ago.
Why?
And most of them that are immigrating here are here on expired visas. And it all spiked when we made it harder for people to cross over the border. Because they lived in Mexico, but they'd come work for us and then go back. But fuck going back if they make it so hard for you to cross the border. Plus all that shit with, the cartel and stuff like that. I definitely don't want to fuck with the cartel. Just in general. And I went, since she told me that, I looked online to just see if there was anything being reported, and CNN had an article. I don't know if people have a certain stance on CNN, whatever, but there was a thing that quoted someone saying people shouldn't go to Area 51.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quote, the U.S. Air Force is always prepared to defend America and its assets.
Yeah.
From what? Americans? What
Yeah.
the fuck? Because technically those are our assets.
Yeah.
You've just made the decision that we aren't capable of understanding it, but with the new internet and how, like, my niece can just, like, pick up a tablet and download any app at the age of, like, 4. Because of how, like, they'll be smarter than we are.
So
or at
do you
least
think-
more in touch with one another and be like... Because we all claim that we're not in touch with one another, but memes are... What is memes? Memes are just you laughing at something that's relatable.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
You know? So, do you think if... I can't imagine all these people showing up to Area 51.
It won't
wanna
be
see it.
as many people that
I
sign
do
it,
want
but I
to
feel
see
like
it.
you got people that go to Burning Man will probably go. You got, like, people are fucking crazy. I hope
Yeah.
that as many people that say go, because I want to see what the fuck happens. Because
Because
like, I
it'll
don't-
start some shit. Because
Yeah.
people still think
Absolutely.
Civil War may break out in America.
Because like
Again.
I don't want to
Yeah.
see people lose their lives. That's not
No,
my.
I don't either.
That's not my wish. But I want people to
see that we are
Yeah.
capable of executing
Yeah.
our own
Yeah.
citizens.
Yeah, that the U.S. citizens are capable of standing up and getting
Because they're
answers
more
to the
worried
questions
about
that they've
protecting the
asked.
power and money that they've obtained than... Because he was...
What's really at Area 51, don't you wonder?
They're
My
aliens.
grandmother
They've
won't even
said-
tell me. My grandmother worked for the government, and she, like, hasn't worked for the government for, like, 40 years now, and she still won't tell me, because they, like, make you sign a crap ton of documents that, like, even after you leave, you can't reveal any secrets, anything. During the time you work there, even after you leave, basically you have to carry everything to your grave. So she won't tell me anything.
What?
But people have
What
said
do we
even
have
the
to hide?
old Prime Minister of Canada was like, "Nah, there's definitely aliens." I was
You don't get that microphone. So what is what? And at the same, I've had this conversation with other people. There are a lot of instances in which the American population aren't sufficiently equipped intellectually.
they immediately want to have
deal
sex
with
with the
situations.
aliens. That's the first thing that came up.
So
People wanna
why
have sex
would
with
we
them.
not lock these things away from the populace if the first thing people jump to is having sex with them, even if it's a joke?
We have to think. We just have to assume that they're more intelligent than us, and they understand that The thing that I fear is I think as a human race we're pretty goddamn gullible because of so many of us wanting to believe.
I think
so. Like, if there are aliens, they could just tell us some bullshit, and then like half of the world would believe it, and then what? We have another civil war between like what the aliens decide.
But I mean, I think it's not even like the fact that there's aliens, but there's other things. We don't know what else is there. Like, we don't know what they've created.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know,
who knows if they have artificial intelligence?
Yeah, there's conspiracy theories of like time travel. Stuff like that. So, like, what do they have there that they're experimenting and making that we don't know about?
I think that time travel is something that we should not have access to.
And to go with that, right? Mm-hmm. So, say it is time travel. The capability to go forward and backward, change the course of history to whatever thing. Should we know these things?
We need to be... Alright, this is going to sound cheesy and nerdy, and people are going to be like, oh, you lost me. But, watching Avengers Endgame, that would be the only way I think having everyone know that it exists, but be like, this can only be controlled by a certain amount of people that we know and respect.
So that's Area 51.
So it's starting to become more to like, but the people we know and respect are starting to become things like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and like these celebrities that proven that they can stay grounded to earth but have money and power.
So are you saying
influence.
Like, as a society, we shouldn't put so much value in entertainment icons?
Or we should put more. The go-to is to put less, but if we're already going in that direction and it's proving to be...
What would happen if we put more?
That would just become... Those would become our leaders, and then we would be elected. Because we're supposed to be allowed to elect our people.
We've elected,
if we overthrow
and Trump,
our government...
what the fuck was he? Like, asshole reality TV guy that fired people, and we elected
an actor towards presidency before, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, and he fucked us.
Some would disagree.
Wasn't he the one that started trade with China? Fucked us. I don't know. I wasn't alive then. Maybe we needed that to survive at the time. But people thinking that our economy that can improve, like, we are in debt and we will never become out of debt. Have you seen the count? It's not. We can't just fucking print money. Yeah. Like, it's gone.
It's easy what we for do people now to criticize the past because they weren't there, right? It's hindsight's 20/20.
And no, I'm saying that. I'm saying that this is me right now saying in hindsight he fucked us. Because he did, but
and I mean,
that
doesn't
mean
he fucked us. It's not even a situation of, like, the past. I think it's just any time we get a new president, anything that's not going the way that the people want or, like, not getting done, they blame it on the last president. Because, I mean, you figure when Obama got elected, everybody blamed everything that was bad on Bush. Yeah. And then when Obama got out and Trump's in, they blamed everything on Obama. It's just a cycle. They just blame it on the last president.
But there's a key thing. Bush and Trump both used fear for their campaigns. Yeah. Trump used immigration because that's what everybody was talking about, which has not gone away. It was also a thing back when South Park made the took your jobs thing. People seem to forget about South Park, but South Park acts kind of as our timeline
as a political
shit that happened that we did that was really fucking stupid.
Sounds really whack to use a adult animated TV show as like a point of reference, but in this instance, you're right.
When I was younger, that educated me. I didn't have access, and, like, the news is just fucked. It's just a whole clusterfuck of fear.
I mean, a lot of it's so biased, and, like, what I hated in school
They want you to be afraid.
Yeah, what I hated in school was, like, they would try to tell you to, like, watch multiple news channels and siphon things from each one, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's so time-consuming to sit there and go through each and every one to siphon bits and pieces from each one until you get the truth. I'm like, why can't they just tell you the truth?
Well, that's another thing. Now that we have the internet, we can have access to other news in the rest of the world, and we're fucking a laughingstock now. We're not shit anymore. We elected Trump, and they were like, the fuck are these people doing?
So I think we should wrap it up. We've gone over a lot of different topics. We've gone over, cyberpunk, and I wanted to kind of make some points just for people to think about when it comes to that. Then we somehow managed to take, cyberpunk and turn it into, what the future could be.
Damn, I really want to talk about the 13 Reasons thing, but we don't have time.
Yeah, not this episode. And
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then we can, because that's definitely right up our alley, and I saw you post that, we should definitely talk about it.
No.
And then we talked about, Area 51, but I just have one more question for you, Destiny. Mm-hmm. Can your Naruto run outrun military-grade bullets?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Heath can. Go. Heath could make it.
Heath could do it,
We need to send him out as the forefront, man. He's got to carry the flag.
If you listen to this the whole way through, and you can hear me from all the way down here, support the raid on Area 51. If you get killed, you're going to start a revolution.
That is a risk that we are willing to take.
Like and comment and subscribe. I want to hear what you guys have to say about everything we talked about today. This is Gamer Girls But Boys.
Yeah, if you disagree with me, let me know. And if you guys think that celebrities can run the world, let
I
me
can
know
promise
about
you,
that
if you
too.
disagree with Corey, he doesn't care though.
I don't.
Yeah, he does not.
I don't. And
No.
don't come at me with that Kanye West as president shit. That's when we're all fucked. Man had Pornhub in the White House.
All right.
How you fucked that up? All right. Goodbye.
It's the worst.